to identify and gain steam around issues that we're going to drive throughout the year to successful conclusions.
For naysayers who said it couldn't be done and that the first California Economic Summit was a fluke, well, they can now eat their words. 18 months after business leaders, educators, economic developers, nonprofits, and more gathered for the first ever summit, they were at it again at the second annual California Economic Summit held in Los Angeles to continue their hard work.
What's happened since last year is people have stayed engaged, they've worked together as volunteers and action teams, and they're actually putting forward very concrete proposals at this year's summit.
This year, 7 signature priorities were identified: infrastructure, housing, regulations, advancing manufacturing, working landscapes, access to capital, and workforce. Action team leaders from each signature initiative led discussions to identify concrete actions.
I think there's more of a commitment this year to actually get down to actualizing the goals and the objectives that are coming out of the work groups. And I see an urgency and an angst from people. People are recognizing the need to try to concentrate on a few key critical areas to ensure that we actually can affect some kind of change.
The summit has gained so much ground, state legislators are now paying attention to the work that has been done.
I'm going to tell my colleagues that there is a lot of excitement and a lot of interest in taking the seeds that we plant in Sacramento and actually making them a success. But the laws are only as good as the way they're implemented, and whether or not the people in the communities, the business leaders, the local officials, the school officials, whether or not they take the seed and plant it in a way that leads to success. I'm very confident that in California we have that regional leadership to do just that.
This year, regional leaders were working on a new mission advancing the state's triple bottom line: a prosperous economy, a sustainable environment, and community equity.
What we're really talking about is investing in those 3 things simultaneously so that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. We have limited resources, and there's an opportunity for us to begin to make these investments in a way that it rebuilds the middle class, it alleviates poverty, and it creates more prosperity and a cleaner environment for everyone in the state.
More than 18 months under their belts, regional leaders have the momentum to keep going, to keep California moving forward. After all, that is the spirit of California.
Improving and investing in ourselves and in our economy is basically creating jobs. I think that the value of this summit and in the summits before is bringing people from diverse interests together to begin to have that common dialogue. So we get out of our, our own sector, our own particular interest. We look at it holistically and understand that our future is tied to everyone else in California.
The summit has to continue because every person in this room, every contributor to the summit process has a role and a responsibility to help us see this thing through. We have to create the actions, we have to make the change that's worthy of the energy and the commitment that this summit has been defined by. That has to continue to finish the job and create the economic renewal of California that we're all about.
The action plan for 2014 will be released in December. As one leader said, there are lots of great ideas. Our job now is to put them into action. For California Forward, I'm Cheryl Getuiza.